What is up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here with part 2 of the ultimate 100% guide for Black Myth Wukong. As I stated before in the previous episode, this guide will show you how to unlock every single portrait, find every single collectible, defeat every single boss, find every secret area, and of course obtain the true ending. So, without further ado, let's do a quick recap of what we did in the last episode, and then jump right into episode 2. We started off with Chapter 1, defeated a handful of bosses, and crafted our very first armor, which is the Pilgrim set. The Pilgrim set, although it does start off and it may seem kind of, unremarkable, if you will, starting off at uncommon, it actually does end up being an incredible piece of armor. Now, of course, we will find different armor sets along the way, some of which are more effective than others, but I guarantee you that if you stick with the Pilgrim's set, and you continuously upgrade it, which I'm going to teach you how to do in a few episodes, you're going to realize this is actually one of the best sets in the game, and I absolutely love it. This is the set that I use above all others, and there are some amazing sets in the game. So this is kind of one of those games that rewards you for your commitment and your consistency and your persistence, and certainly dedicating all of your resources to the Pilgrim's Headband is one such sacrifice, and trust me, it does pay off. So anyways, looking at the self-advance, we don't have any sparks or anything like that we can utilize at this point, so we're just going to go ahead and move forward. We've got quite a bit to do in this episode. First and foremost, we're going to be starting off an NPC questline that spans 5 chapters, so plenty of good stuff to cover there. Here we're going to take out this enemy really quickly just because he's not paying attention. And we can go ahead and harvest this Jade Lotus, but before we move forward, we're going to take this little secret path in here. Now remember, we do have the benefit of increased movement speed, so don't be shy. Here we see an NPC chatting. You actually get close and you notice that he's a horse NPC. We're going to learn who he is much later, but for now we can use this meditation spot to go ahead and tag this for now. Remember, when you meditate, not only does it grant you experience, which typically results in sparks, which can be used to allocate skill points to enhance your attributes, but also, it's just a nice way to look at the vista, maybe get an idea, lay of the land, anything that's kind of surrounding. That's where we just defeated the little fox dude, for example. That's the little tunnel or temple that we're currently in, and that's where we're sitting, just chilling. So anyways, this is kind of a nice, relaxing break, if you will. So if you're ever in need, just feel free to meditate, and surely you'll feel a bit better. But anyways, we got 1 spark for that. We're going to go chat with this NPC. As with all NPCs, you want to make sure you exhaust the dialogue, so we will be doing that. So let's just have a listen. If we can get to him.
You don't look like a Yaguai from these parts. Have you come to earn the Black Wind King's favor? Hear me. That bear is but a hollow shell. He can grant you nothing. Don't waste your time on him. He lies about cheating death and even the treasures. His followers are, all of them, deceived. Blackwind Gwai is a sly one. He preaches virtue with a heart full of greed. Oh, I wouldn't entrust him with my plea. I don't know why you are here, but you should be vigilant. Now, I'm pressed for time. Fare thee well, then.
So typically, once you've exhausted the dialogue, you'll notice that there's a long pause before you can press R2 to interact again. But just double check that just in case to make sure that the dialogue is duplication.
I don't know why you.
So there you go. So now he says fairly well then. So that's how you can typically tell. Obviously, interacting and exhausting the dialogues is going to help progress his quest to the next phase. So notice that he said and referred to the Black Wind Gwai multiple times. The Black Wind Gwai is actually the chapter boss for this particular chapter that we're currently in. So we'll see more and more and hear more and more of that as time goes on. But I'm going to take out these enemies really quickly just because I don't like them lingering around while I'm exploring. But we can grab this gentian. Remember, you definitely want to harvest whatever plants you can, and you can grab the seeds for it eventually by harvesting enough. Typically, once you do have the seeds, you really won't have to harvest much anymore because you can give them to an NPC that plants them for you, so it's really awesome. Anyway, so we're going to take out this enemy. This one's a little bit tougher, so make sure you do utilize your evasive maneuvers as best you can. Remember, the light attack combos are never a bad thing. Alright, so he's taken out. We're going to go ahead and take this guy as well. He's just kind of lingering. He's a lingerer. So we're going to take him out so that we can loot this chest comfortably. And notice that just by sprinting, my attack is actually increasing. So the fact that this is one of the best sets is just undeniable. Just by sprinting alone, when you see that red glow on the tips of my bow or my bow staff, they're actually that's actually enhancing my damage. So it's just so awesome. So here we have another new plant that we can grab, a snakehead mushroom. It's going to be used for different medicaments or different pills we can make. If you go back this way, which is I strongly advise, so you can jump in this little pathway and grab this. I'm going to show you guys something. In the event you need to top off, like say for example you've utilized a little bit of mana and now you have a drink that can replenish mana or top off your health even better, you can always use your gourd and then absorb a will, and you typically can then regain a usage. Now you're going to see right now that that's not the case, but you're going to learn why in just a moment. We're actually going to get an upgrade for our gourd, so I just wanted to show you guys that. But anyways, we're going to go this way, defeat these frogs. Remember, they are explosive, so make sure once you defeat them, you back away. And remember, they're actually pretty easy, so this light attack combos all the way. And then you can go ahead and gather this Jade Lotus. You do want to gather as much as possible. There's going to be a quest in Chapter 2 that requires that we have some Jade Lotus in our inventory or on our person to give to a certain NPC. So up we go. Again, typically there's going to be deviating pathways, but we're going to circle around and try and navigate the area in such a way that it's going to be really efficient and you're not going to have to backtrack much at all. So here we have the kind of the essence guiding us, but we're going to make this right turn here and we can open up this chest. Remember that whenever you see something telling you which way to go, don't necessarily always go that way, okay? Because typically you'll be rewarded for your inquisitive nature and exploring the area. So whenever you pick up new medicines or pills or things of that sort, it's going to auto-equip into your quick bar. I typically just unequip them by pressing square here in the equipment menu. Now if you ever want to actually equip them, you can click on it, press X, and then you can select whatever you like. So you could have this, for example, which enhances maximum stamina, burn resistance, damage reduction, whatever you like. And there's going to be so many more that are going to be even more useful later on. But for now, it's not really relying on using those. We can maybe use some just as an example. I typically don't utilize them too much though, so we'll do what we can so you guys can see. But here you can go crazy with using all of your abilities if you need to. No need to be conservative because we're right next to a shrine, pending that we defeat this enemy, so remember, just use your evasive maneuvers, don't get greedy, and if you do have a stagger kind of going, then you want to continue that as much as you can, keep that momentum. So here we go, light attack combo, and he should be dead. Excellent. And we got the stone spirit, which is just a material that you drop. It's a crafting material specific for weapons, so you can offer some incense. This is going to activate the shrine, and then we're going to be getting our upgrade for the gourd. I was going to say we're going to be getting our gourd upgraded, but try saying that 3 times fast. Alright, so here again, you can, at any point in time, you can rest, travel, self-advance, craft armor, whatever you need. Again, when it comes to buying stuff, you can always buy medicaments or things that you're missing, but you typically won't need to do that. It's always good to buy unique materials, so every time you go into a new chapter, it's not a bad idea to do some exploration in the shop, kind of peruse the shop and get anything that's unique. So anyways, there's nothing in here. I just wanted to show you, you can always break pots for will. It's usually single-digit numbers, so not much. But we're going to head up these stairs, and we're going to head to the right, and we'll be getting our gourd upgraded. Look at the gourd on that guy. Massive gourd.
Have you seen those nameless souls adrift on your path? Their wills float aloft, never to fade. Shame, your gourd serves little purpose, and mine answers solely to me. I know a way to guide the souls, mend their paths, and set them free. It will aid you. This is better. This gourd, though humble, may save the lost, banish their obsessions, and guide them.
So now you can see the tooltip for the Blessed Gourd. Under the guidance of a wise master, the Destined One has mastered the art of spirit absorption. The gourd possesses remarkable divine capabilities, allowing it to absorb the lingering wills of spirits left behind by formidable Yaoguais who have been defeated. So long story short, remember that wandering wight, that big-headed dude that we fought early in Chapter 1 in the first episode? Remember he had a purple will that we just couldn't absorb. Well, that's going to change here really soon, but let's go ahead and exhaust the dialogue for this this gourd master, if you will, and see what else he has to say.
For one as destined as you, there can be no turning back. We are like tumbleweeds, drifting through life, with a destiny beyond our grasp. Fair sights fade, but with ink I bid them stay. The road has claimed you, now you must see it through. Your heart will guide you further. We shall meet again. Fair sight, the road.
And we will meet again multiple times and throughout the different chapters. So what we want to do is head right back down to the stairs, all the way back to the shrine. And the reason for that is because there's going to be a unique options available if at any point in time you defeat an enemy whose spirit you can absorb that you may have missed on your journey. So if you go and offer incense, you can look at the option that says retrieve spirits. So this is just one of those amazing quality of life, things that they included. Excellent game mechanic in my opinion. So you don't have to go back and remember where you may have been, but you can simply retrieve the lost spirit. So if you hold X to retrieve, you now have a spirit available in your arsenal. So what you can do is you can go to self-advance, and of course this is where you'd set spells, like if you have different spells from your mobilization and whatnot. Reigniting the sparks is the reallocation of sparks and attribute points, like we mentioned earlier. But cultivate spirits, this is actually where you can not only pick the different spirits, but then upgrade them as well using will. So if you look here, you can select the Wandering Wight, and you can press square to watch the demo of what it does. This is actually really good early on. It deals tons of damage, but it also has a unique effect. So let's take a look at this really quickly. Take the form of Wandering Wight, bow with utmost devotion, and ram the foe with your bronze skull, dealing massive damage. So although it's costly, because you see the chi cost is high, the damage is pretty huge as well. Now the upgraded effect shows that it's going to reduce the chi cost for this particular skill, so reducing it from high to to lower. The equipped effect, just by having this slotted in your spirit slot, it considerably increases your defense. So again, definitely something that you want to have in your arsenal. So now what you can do is, cultivating them just simply means to upgrade the spirits. If you want to equip it, you just go into your equipment menu here, and then depending on the number of different spirit skills you have, you can equip them at any point in time just by simply pressing the equipment button or options button and going into equipment menu. So when the chi is full, you press R2 and L2 at the same time to launch spirit skills. Transforming into powerful Yaoguai to unleash their signature abilities costs chi, which can be recovered by absorbing it from enemies during combat. Spirits of the Yaoguais can be cultivated at keeper shrines to enhance the spirit skill. So there are very powerful abilities that they can have. And just so you know, whenever you do use it, it's a little different from what you might see at first. So although it says press R2 and L2 simultaneously, it's a little bit better if you press R2 and then L2 after just a brief delay. And I'll showcase that in a little bit, because during my first playthrough I did have some trouble with the simultaneous press for whatever reason, but it's that you'll learn that it's actually not that big a deal. But anyways, you know what we should do? We're going to go ahead and defeat this enemy really quickly, just for the sake of getting in our portrait. You know, we can do whatever we want, actually want to have fun with it. We can even use our transformation. But he will poison you pretty quickly, and the poison effect lasts forever. So this is where, if you're struggling with poison for whatever reason, you're more than welcome to either craft or purchase medicines that would decrease your poison, or actually increase your poison resistance and remove the poison effect altogether. So anyways, make sure that you rest after you change something like equipping a spirit or whatnot. That'll get your chi meter completely full. So if you see in the bottom right, next to where my focus would be, you can see the Wandering Wight spirit skill activated there. So We'll go ahead and take out this enemy once again. This is a tougher enemy, has tons of health in my opinion. Certainly one that is not a waste to use skills. There are not too many of them, but they are quite powerful, so don't underestimate them by any means. Obviously you want to bait these lunge attacks if possible, and avoid the poison if you can. You see the poison build up meter already. Do a big attack there. We can jump and do a falling attack with focus, and that should take him out. Anyways, these guys are jerks, and don't be afraid to utilize your spells on them. So anyways, you come down here, and there's going to be a trio of skeleton enemies, unique to us, but we want to go to the far one, get behind them. Once their heads pop on, they're now vulnerable to attack. And of course, they are weak to smash. So we are in the smash stance right now, so we're dealing tons of damage already. This is the only stance we have available, but as we have more skill points, or more sparks, specifically, we're going to utilize those to allow ourselves to use different stances. So here's something I want to show you guys. I'm purposely not going to grab something because I want you to see it for yourself, but let's first take out this enemy. Okay, their combos are crazy, by the way. It's usually 3-hit combos or big lunges, okay? So just be careful. I want to wait for an attack here, let my stamina build up again. Stamina usage will be less and less of a problem a little bit later in the game, but for now, definitely something you want to be mindful of. Big attack there. Okay, so now that we've gone through this path, I want to show you that there's going to be some essence we can absorb. So remember that there's 2 sprites that we can absorb, okay? Remember that for later, but for now, instead, we're going to deviate from that path, and we're going to jump off right down here. We're going to go into this little ravine here, and be careful because there's going to be some frog enemies just right past this area. So you would think, okay, I found everything that's available here. But if you push further, you're going to realize that there's a whole new like swampy type area here. So be careful and mindful of the little frog enemies because they're really hard to see. And they're not hard, but if they gang up on you, they can certainly do some damage. And not only that, but you don't want to aggro them. There's going to be like 2 or 3 in general. There's one over there as well, and then one off in the distance. And then there's a big guy off in the cave if you can look in the top left corner. So we don't want to aggro him yet, because that's the boss. There's going to be a secret frog boss in every single chapter of this game. So 6 frog bosses total. And it will actually grant you a very, very special spirit skill later on in the game, and the only mythical class spirit skill available in the game. So very, very neat in my opinion. Alright, so let's destroy him really quickly. We're going to use our immobilization, and then we're going to start our light attack combo here. Now if you see that you're getting hurt really bad, you can just go ahead and like I am right now. You can always do a few different things. You can heal, of course, because we do have our sprinting heal. We can use our ability, which does tons of damage like you just saw. And we can even transform. All these are going to help us with our survivability. Help us deal with a tough enemy such as this. This enemy does have a lot of jumping attacks, which he telegraphs pretty easily. And then, of course, he has other attacks that are a lot less easy to counter, like when he uses his tongue. His tongue is certainly his strongest of his abilities, so that's what you want to be most mindful of. But his other attacks, a little bit easier to read in my opinion. Now, each frog is going to have a different element. This one is just purely a jerk, so. And they can use poison, lightning, depending on the level, of course, you find them in. And there you go. We've defeated the first frog enemy, many to come. So in the event that you needed to top off, you certainly can do so. And this is going to help you and prevent you from having to go back to the shrine every 5 seconds. So here we go. We got some tadpole as well, which I'm going to explain what that does. But if we absorb this will here, not only will we get the spirit skill for the frog, which is actually really powerful, but we're also going to get a refilled gourd, as you can see in the bottom left. So anyways, you can always take a look at the different spirit skills you have equipped. This is an excellent one, does tons of damage, just with the tongue itself. It's got some really big damage, but it is quite costly. And as you can see, the equipped effect moderately reduces the stamina cost for jumps and jump attacks, so pretty cool. So you can look at the demo and see what it does. It's just a tongue lash, but it's pretty solid in damage, but doesn't compare to the Wandering Wight's damage early on. So I actually used the frog for a good chunk of time. It was a lot of fun to use in my opinion, but So we're going to head this way. There's nothing in the cave. You can't even move forward. There's an invisible barrier. There's tons of invisible barriers in this game in places that you may not suspect, but I'll be sure to point them out and tell you where you actually can traverse. But we're going to circle around, and this is going to be, I think, probably the biggest deviation you'd see from, any other maybe, I haven't seen any guides, and I never do. I just create my own, but I can only imagine this is a bit of a deviation from the plan. It's just something I came up with. And there's a few really cool tricks I have in Chapter 2 that I can't wait to show you guys. So let's drop down here, wait for this guy's heads to pop on, and once his head pops on, then he's, free to attack. So if you get behind him, he's got no chance. So here you can see this is a cliff that we jumped down from, right? This is one part, or one end, of this path here. This path actually goes straight all the way to the end. Now this path will also lead to the boss, but what we want to do is, before we do all that, we want to actually, explore the area, search for resources. So we're going to kind of deviate from this path here. So we're going to go around, and then we're going to jump off this little path, and we can take out this guy, wait for his head to pop on, can lock on, and then go ahead and do a light attack combo to finish him off with relative ease. And then we're going to start going this way. So before we we're going to end up doing a complete circle and then going straight down this path, and we'll have explored everything. So don't you worry. So let's go ahead and start harvesting. We're going to gather some purple lingxi. The purple lingxi mushroom is going to be useful for creating medicaments or medicines or pills that can enhance your attack power. So really cool. So just wait for the head. Pops on. You can go ahead and use your light attack combo, and he's dead. So we just want to make sure that because there's tons of enemies, if you don't control the fight, you can definitely get overwhelmed, and then you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I don't have tons of gourd uses, and I'm in trouble. There's about 2 of those snake enemies patrolling the area that can give us a hard time if we get surrounded, so we don't want that to happen. So instead, we're going to be careful, go through this methodically, and if you look to the left, if you ever see braziers or lit urns or things like that, not urns, but like braziers or sconces, I should say, that's always going to indicate the path forward, usually. So what we want to do is we want to deviate from that, just so that that's actually the pathway to the boss, Guang Mo. But we'll be facing off with him a bit later. So let's wait for his head to pop on. I'm going to take him out as well. Remember, all we're doing is kind of combing through here. You can use your abilities. He already kind of popped us. That's fine. That's not a big problem though, but something to consider. Make sure you don't get caught by these guys, because the poison is redonkulous, like I just did. That one hit will do a lot of poison damage. Fortunately for us, though, we will be able to kind of survive it. We got that other snake guy up there, but let's just pass the boss arena for now. Activate this. This guy's already coming at us, though. So we're going to have to go crazy with him. That's fine. If he wants to go crazy, I welcome the opportunity. So it gives me a chance to use my transformation. Before we face off with the boss, we're certainly going to be going into the shrines, or tagging the shrine and replenishing our health, so nothing to worry about there. Fire, oh, I was going to say the fire should finish him off. Naturally it didn't. And just so that you know, a lot of times if you initiate a transformation or anything like that, it's going to typically interrupt your status affliction. So I was poisoned, and if you notice, I'm not poisoned anymore. So it's another little trick you can always use. So we're going to go ahead and replenish our health. Wait for this guy's head to pop on. Boom. And then we're going to start a light attack. But anyways, a nice little trick that they don't tell you is transformations often cancel afflictions. So if you're afflicted with shock or poison or burnt or whatever the hell else there is, I forget the other element. Those are frost, I believe. You can shake those off by simply transforming. So anyways, I'm going to show you this in just a moment. And I'll actually show you right now, might as well. So we got monkey headphones. We're getting all kinds of rare stuff here. So if we go up these stairs, just so you know, guess what we're going to find? The 2 sprites that I told you not to worry about. So let's go ahead and grab those right now. That'll replenish our gourd. And now we can go back down, and guess what? We're ready to continue fighting. So I just wanted to show you how it all comes together. I like pulling the world together for you guys so you guys can see how the map connects. Because at first, it can be a little daunting. And during my first playthrough, I had to make sure I backtracked a few times and to make sure I knew exactly where everything was. And just so that you know, my first playthrough is still ongoing, and it's actually a challenge run where I'm utilizing no sparks, no medicines, and just nothing. So essentially no proper leveling. So it's been quite a challenge, but it's been a lot of fun too. So if you guys want to check that out, it's on my channel too. So it's just my first playthrough, and those playthroughs and challenge runs I usually do on my very first attempt at even playing the game, because I just find it so much more fun. It teaches you a different way to play the game before you even know. And that way when you go through on your second playthrough, it's like, wow, you get to actually benefit from all the mechanics that you learned. So I think it's really special. Alright, so just so you know, you're going to say, oh, that looks familiar. This is the cliff that we jumped down from, and you're right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go straight down this path over here. And guess what? We have a new enemy. There are different variants of enemies based on the plant that you're trying to pull. So we had the ginseng little monster, and now we have like this snakehead mushroom monster. So different enemies, some of which are more difficult than others. And I'll tell you that the fungi man, which I believe he is not nearly as difficult as the fungi woman. The fungi woman is probably the worst plant enemy in the entire game. She gives me so much trouble. So much trouble, I tell you. But anyway, so that's the path that you would have followed, and you could have gone any which way. There's a few stragglers we left behind, but not important, only for the sake of maybe collecting a handful of will, but other than that, nothing at all. So now you just go this way and you face off with the boss, ideally, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to top off. We're going to use our talisman to return back to the shrine, and then we're going to just run past these guys and go straight to the boss. There's no need to defeat everybody all over again, anything like that. But we also don't want to face off with a boss without having our mana, because it's pretty crippling. So essentially, if you don't have your mana, then you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to say, oh my gosh, how am I going to make it through this encounter? So you typically don't have the benefit of using any spells, and you have to rely purely on your melee skill and your dodges. And on the first time you're fighting a boss, it's going to be pretty challenging. So all we're going to do is try and avoid getting poisoned here. There you go, narrowly so. I'm going to sprint down this way, and I'll show you the path. It's really just going to be a straight shot. So we're going to avoid this second snake dude as well. Let's just get some stamina going. And please, sir, don't hurt me. And then just keep dodging so that he doesn't... He only runs in straight shots. So like he'll do that lunge and potentially try and bite you. That will inflict poison if you if you get hit. So alright, so we're just going to follow this pathway here. That's actually the wrong way. My apologies. You want to go towards this sconce right over here. So we're going to run in here, and then we're going to be treated to a little cutscene. Just keep dodging to make sure you trigger the cutscene. And the enemies behind will just leash, and they'll return. So Guangmo is pretty interesting. He uses poison, and he uses like wind as well.
Please pass this message to my master.
So the key is just staying aggressive, but then making sure when he enters his phase where he relies primarily on projectiles, to avoid those before you go in, because you're just going to get peppered and it'll throw you off your rhythm. So just kind of rely on staying aggressive as much as you can, staying away from his face, avoiding the cyclones, things like that. It's simple stuff. Remember, when he gets stunned, that means you can usually stun him the second time, so it's always good stuff there. He's poisoned there. You don't want to burn through all of your stamina, all your uses, all of your spirit skills, unless you know it's a guaranteed hit, okay? So make sure you don't just burn through them like that. So we can sprint and heal. So he's actually summoned his little poison thing. So right now we're just going to kind of be on the defensive here. We can heal again if we need to. Dodge, and then we can try and attack. If you initiate a combo and he starts getting crazy, he's typically going to try and interrupt it, so don't worry. He's in a bad spot for me right there. I'm going to transform so I can deal some damage. I'll also cancel out the poison, ideally. He doesn't like fire at all, so this is a wonderful skill to have, in my opinion. So we're going to heal once again just for safety, dodge that, jump into a focus attack. We're going to immobilize him here and then do a light attack combo. And this should be close to finishing him off. And there you go. First try on the Guangmo, Yaguai Chief. So remember, transformations are perfect for canceling out status afflictions. So what we're going to do is top off our health, wait for him to quit talking,
To burn the great sage and tongue monk That's these two. I thought they were already turned into ashes by that fire. Who would have thought they had turned into Yaoguais?
So we've faced off with two of the brothers already, Guang Mo and his previous brother, and the fire one that we actually were utilizing. So the fire transformation anyway. So now we have Guang Mo and we have a full gourd. So Guang Mo is another spirit we can utilize. If you look at the demo, you can see the kind of ability he does. He summons those little poison things, really trolly. Decent way to afflict poison. Again, you can always look at the equipped effect. This one moderately increases poison damage and resistance, so not a bad thing at all. But anyway, so now that we're here, that's the way that, well actually this is the way that we came from, right? So before we go and progress towards these other sconces, we want to go up these stairs here and we're going to ring the second secret bell. So this bell is another secret bell, 2 of 3 bells in chapter 1 that we need to activate the secret area and face off with the secret boss. But we're going to be kind of encouraged now to just move forward since we've already started off some calamity here. We've already rung 2 bells, so he's like, just go forward with it. That's what the keeper's saying. He's the voice chatting in the background.
I have an ominous feeling. After the bell rang, it seems as though the resentment in the depths of the mountain has grown. Ah, forget it. Overthinking won't help. Your presence has already made a mess in the mountain. Why not go ahead? Take them out, once and for all.
There you go. Finally, someone has confidence in us. So now we can move forward to the next shrine. This is a pretty interesting place because we've got even more goodies up ahead. So we're going to meet another NPC, very important to our journey, and specifically to obtain a very special gourd. So make sure to rest as always. And before you do anything else, turn back to the left and look for these items. You can typically, game's very generous, right? So you can see that if you're kind of looking in that general direction, it's going to say, hey, interact with me. And if you interact with this plant here, this is a Loagia fragrant vine, and this is a way to enhance your gourd. So there's ways you can enhance your gourd, and there's ways you can enhance your drink. If you enhance your gourd, that means that you can increase the number of uses. If you enhance your drink, that means you can enhance the potency of each of those uses. So anyways, for the self-advanced menu, we have about 5 points. We can take a look and see what would be nice to have. Again, I want to top these off really quickly. This is kind of my biggest concern. We want to have the moderately increased health to the max and then the stamina. Once we do this, then we can kind of free up a little bit, kind of freestyle if you will, have some fun with it. We can start having bonuses to our staffs and different abilities like the deflection. We can have different, reduced stamina costs, but more importantly, we can start looking at the different stances. These are going to be huge, and I definitely advise us to, to go ahead and use these. But for now, honestly, the bread and butter of the light attack combo is going to get you through quite a bit. So we're going to be doing, from this point forward, mostly smash stances and then some things like stamina and whatever else. But this for survival, for the sake of how much it starts costing later on, even on my other profile, it's not even maxed out here. I'm really focused on stamina, some martial arts, and primarily the smash stance and the thrust stance. Those are by far the best stances in the game. So we're going to start showing you how to use focus points and really good ways so you can really start kicking butt later on. So anyways, we're going to move forward here, and we're going to see that this monkey here is in trouble. Let's go ahead and take out this enemy. There you go, and maybe a jumping attack to piss him off even further. Light attack combo, keep him stun locked is always good. And now that he's dead, we're going to be introduced to Shen Monkey.
These snake guys are nothing to fear. Snake gall steeped in drink, though, makes a fine tonic to flush malady.
And he's not lying.
Here, here, young friend. Be my guest.
The gall gem is actually a specific soak, and he just gave it to us right now. And we're able to use it to reduce our poison resistance. So, pretty cool. I'll actually increase our poison resistance and reduce our weakness to it, if you will. So let's chat with him really quickly. He's kind of chatty.
Well, well. I'd stake you're one more monkey from Mount Huaguo. I've met many of you.
So here,
You all ought to
Well, let's let
call
him
me
finish his
Thorfinn.
dialogue.
But I'm just an old monkey, banished to the mortal world.
So he's just gonna complain and comment on everything else we buy and say and everything like that. So don't worry about him.
If something...
And typically he's a bit inebriated. So look at the store first and foremost. Visiting the stores of the NPCs is always going to grant you different things in different chapters. So you can get unique items. So if we go here and go to buy, you can see that we have a Celestial Lotus Seed. That's actually a soak that you can use. So just by equipping this to your drink, which we're going to learn how to brew special drinks, this will have an effect that after you use the gourd, it slowly recovers a small amount of health. So never a bad thing to just buy. You can certainly get that at any point in time. We'll be purchasing it a bit later, but you're more than welcome to buy it now. It's just a matter of preference. I like to save up a bit of will just so I can have enough for when it comes to crafting armors and things like that. So for now, I'm going to hold off on it. But if you like that effect, feel free to buy it. Before the end of the chapter or whatever, we'll always revisit the stores and make sure to purchase everything so that by the end of the run, you'll have everything possible. But I just wanted to point it out, so if you want to get it now, you certainly can. You don't have to follow this to the T. I mean, it's just something that I want to have some will available because I'm just cheap like that. So brew me. Oh, let's actually start from the top. So we're going to go to upgrade gourds. So we have the Lojra Fragrant Vine. In my opinion, this gourd is actually one of the best gourds you can use, and hint, hint, secret, secret, spoiler, spoiler, you can actually upgrade it to mythical status, one of the few that you can actually have upgraded. And you can actually upgrade it beyond, which is insane. So, well, actually, I digress. You can upgrade the gourd to mythical status, but you can upgrade a special drink to beyond mythical, which is really neat. But anyways, we are going to be utilizing this gourd the most. Remember that the other gourd that from the digital deluxe edition, that has an excellent effect. But for now, I just want to play as along with you as if maybe you didn't have a copy of the digital deluxe edition. So we'll be playing together and struggling the same way. So now we have the medicine gourd. It's a slightly different kind of gourd. Now we have 6 uses, right? So kind of special there. Or actually, 5 to 6 uses. We had 4, now we have 5. Now we can go to upgrade drinks. Now if we had an awakened wine worm, which is something that we'll be getting here before long, that is how you upgrade your drink. So your coconut wine, for example, would restore 33%, but maybe if you upgrade it, it now is 35%, 36%, 40%, and onward. So depending on the number of slots and times you can upgrade it, you may be able to upgrade it to mythical status. So just so that you know, this is certainly one that can be upgraded to mythical status from common. So typically anything that requires a big investment and commitment and dedication to upgrading all the way through its, from start to finish, is usually going to be incredibly rewarding. So just something to keep in mind. And then brew just means at any point in time, even from a keeper's shrine, you're now able to brew a special drink. So you combine and pick your drink from here if you had any different choices available, and then you can go to your soaks and you can select your soak. So using this gourd moderately increases poison resistance for a short duration. So essentially, after you utilize your gourd, you now have increased poison resistance just by using it as a passive effect. Well, I call it a passive effect. It's activated by drinking the gourd, but then it kind of persists for a while. So however you want to word that. But anyways, he's just going to say, funny things on how to, drinking tips, if you will. So now we can go here, absorb this. And just so you know, we are going to be facing off with a boss, but normally what I like to do is gather all these things really quickly, and then you can teleport right back to the beginning. If you head down here, you're actually going to trigger the boss fight, so just use your Incense Trail Talisman, and that's going to keep you right back, or kick you right back to the shrine just a few feet away, right before the bridge. Now we're fully topped off. This boss is, he is pretty difficult. So on my first playthrough on my stream, I beat him first try, but he can be a little difficult because he has this little strange delay effect that he likes to do, and it can be quite a nuisance. So anyways, we're going to be jumping in and just trying to stay aggressive, but more than anything, just make sure that we time our dodges correctly. He does a lot of, in this first phase anyways, it's quite, readable, easy, telegraphs all his moves, things like that. Second phase, not so much, but you'll see. I don't want to spoil it all. We'll kind of navigate the fight as we're fighting. So.
Hailed bird, what dimmed your shine? Past's grip beyond our grasp. The future we may still clasp. Late is the
So this is the
hour,
white-clad noble.
young one, in which you choose to stay in my tranquil abode. Pray tell, to what end do you seek?
So when the fight begins, we kind of just want to feel out his attacks. He does a lot of lunge-type attacks, uses these projectiles as well. It can be pretty tricky to get through, but what you want to do is, if possible, rely solely on your melee strikes, and don't use any abilities if you can help it. Like right now, I'm getting torn up, but that's fine. Like, you know, we're not gonna have perfect fights every time. You want to make sure you're healing at the right time as well, so we're gonna go ahead and heal now. We can sprint and heal, so remember that's a benefit that nobody else will have unless they're using the same set. So a lot of circular movements here. Remember, a lot of his stuff is just fluff though. So if he does get stunned, we just continue with our attacks. We can stun him here, get immobilization in, and then see how much damage we can get. Remember, we don't want to go crazy with it though. We want to go ahead and retreat for a second. We can heal by sprint away and heal. There you go, and one more. There you go, he does a little follow-up strike there. Ooh, we missed our focus strike, that's unfortunate. There you go, big combo there for him. But once we defeat this first life bar, he is going to be ready for phase 2. So we'll heal twice. We'll do a jumping focus point attack. Ooh, I thought we were going to be able to trigger that phase, but we can just get him with a little light attack combo if he's going to be a jerk about it. He's still a jerk. He hasn't quit being a jerk yet. So this is going to trigger phase 2. Phase 2 is more of the same, a lot of circular attacks, but there's delays between each of his strikes. Now we can go crazy with our mana usage. Spells and spirit abilities, things like that. So let's heal really quickly. There's our last heal. And we want to go ahead and freeze him. He's in the middle of an attack, so we got to make sure we make this count. Remember, we have our transformation as well. Can use that. Never a bad thing. Full health bar here. Can start using our ability. Try and do as much damage as we can. Huge damage. And then we can do this. We're just trying to pile everything on him if we can. There you go, so first try, he nearly had us, but again, as long as you try to maintain or manage your gourd usage in the first phase and your spells, you should be fine.
No ill will, I bear. I'm merely my brother's eyes and ears. I feign my loyalty to guard this path on the bear's order. Your destiny's bleak and stark. In its grip, we share the mark. The Guanyin temple now lies in cinders, yet the elder soul endures. The root of greed ever fosters the stem of suffering. Better to forget the thing you truly seek.
So good thing for us, we got quite a materials. Listen to what he says really quickly. So here he's referencing the 3 bells.
That which they ceaselessly hold dear.
The bells. 3 bells were set in the mountains since the Black Wind Choir's return, yet no one is allowed to go near them. Maybe the bells have something to do with the temples burning. His words sound like truth to me, little monkey. Stay sharp and keep a lookout.
Alright, so there the keeper is just talking about, of course, the bells that we have been ringing. There's only 1 bell left, right? We don't have any gourd uses or any heals or anything, so we definitely want to go back and tag the shrine so we can re-up on all those resources. And now I can show you guys what we just got. We got a Jade Fang This is a unique boss drop. The boss drops are used for crafting special weapons. So this is a jade thing, and although it says 1 of 1, we actually won't use it. Like it's needed to be in your possession, but you don't actually use it and deplete, the one that you have in your person. So it's really cool. Anyways, and the tadpoles are also something special for upgrading that spirit frog that I told you about earlier that we captured. But anyway, so now if you go to here, if you really wanted to, you'd be more than welcome to upgrade your staff by crafting this right here. And you could go to the square menu, so you press square, and then you can say, oh, okay, well, here's the tree for this particular willow wood staff. How do I upgrade it? We could say, oh, wow, I can increase my damage from 30 to 40. And this would moderately increase the damage of your light attack combo finishers, and the effect would massively be enhanced when fighting in water. Now, very rarely do you find yourself fighting in water, but this is not a bad thing because the damage does pay off. And again, we are primarily utilizing the light attack combo anyway, so it's not a bad thing to have on your person. So honestly, this is something that I would craft earlier on. You can certainly craft it if you like. If not, we'll have a chance to go a different pathway and craft this as well. So remember that when you are crafting it, you do have crafting materials needed, so it might take certain items that you've collected along the way to craft. Now, you can also craft a different armor set. So we beat a boss, so typically after beating a boss, you have new armors to craft, and also new bow staff. So here we have the serpent scale robe. This is of course going to be tying into the being in water kind of thing, so kind of neat. If you're in water, like, you can pretty much heal even faster kind of thing. But anyways, that's a cool looking set. Not a set that I ever utilized, but still one that's kind of fun to think of the ideas. Now, there's not a ton of areas in this game where you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm submerged in water, this is the best thing ever. Because there's an area where you're completely in a desert. There's an area where you're in an arid like tundra, like a snowy place. There's an area where you're in a spider web and a lava or volcano. So very few of those areas have water such as this. But if there are awesome ponds everywhere, that would be one of the best things ever. Anyways, as I've noted before, you see the sconces lit here. That means that's the forward progression for the level. But remember, we still need to ring 3 bells before we defeat the chapter boss. So how do we do that? Well, let's head this way really quickly, and we'll find the 3rd bell, guarded by a few weaker enemies, and we'll be actually activating the secret area before long. And if you can see on the tree, there's a gruesome sight, so I'm sorry if you guys aren't, if you're sensitive to that. I mean, it's certainly not something I like to look at, but... Alright, so we defeated these enemies. We can grab this gentian here. Remember, it's always good to harvest any plant you see so that you can potentially obtain the seeds. I think that's it for this area. We have this individual that's been hung here, and then we're going to go ahead and ring the 3rd bell. This is going to trigger a unique sequence that will actually activate our transportation to the secret area. And remember, every chapter technically has a secret area or a secret associated with it. So chapters 1 through 5 have definitive secret areas. Chapter 3 is a bit more cryptic, and chapter 6 doesn't necessarily have a designated secret area, but it does have secrets hidden among its little level. Every time you go into a secret area, you're going to see the words obsession, and you're going to see this flavor text with it, and that's when you know you've triggered a secret area. Not only that, but whenever you get to a keeper's shrine later on, you can see that the area is designated as a secret area, and in all caps, so don't you worry. So now we're in Guanyin Temple, but back in time. This is the ancient version of the temple, so really neat in my opinion. Anyways, there isn't anything behind us or no secrets behind us or anything like that like you would normally expect, but we're going to move forward, go up these steps, and we're going to loot some chests before we activate the Keeper's Shrine. So here we can just look around. There's going to be mostly chests. Remember in the previous area we had loot that was kind of strewn about before we fought the Lingzushi wolf? Well, here all these areas are now empty, as you can tell, and there's going to be about 3 or 4 chests available in the area for us to loot. So not a lot of stuff here aside from the chest. But hey, trust me, the chests, or actually I should say coffins, are more than enough. And just so that you know, these are actually not treasure chests. These are actually coffins. So I may misspeak and call them treasure chests, but although they have loot inside, they're actually coffins. So we'll get the stone spirit from this coffin over here. That's just crafting materials, and will, we always can accept will. I'm always happy to, you know, kind of use as much will as I can. We've got the Guan Yin's prayer beads. That's a different arm piece we can use, actually. So like a bracer, for example. A set of bracers. So those are the 3. I do believe there's one other coffin around here to loot. Let's see, 1, 2... and then we have the 3rd one on that side. Actually, I do believe that's it. Yeah, I got that mistaken. So we're good there. We've searched everything. Now, just so that you can take a look at these bracers, these do have pretty cool effects. It's just a unique effect of after absorbing Lingering Will, your health can moderately increase. So a Lingering Will are those green sprites that you see kind of hidden in levels. So after you absorb one, your health bar and your mana will be incredibly longer. Like the bars will completely jump up. So it's really cool to have. Really, I think it's a pretty neat effect, and I used them for a period of time. So anyways, we have the full set though, and I like the bonus that we have, so we're going to keep with it. We're going to rest at this shrine, but before we do, or actually after we do, we're going to actually go to the store. Just so that you know, I want to show you guys in the very top left, it says Secret, Ancient Guan Yin Temple. So if I were to travel and say, okay, I'm in chapter 1. Oh, look, here you go. I have the secret area right here. So it's very, very clear, right? Anyways, every secret area also has a unique store. So if you go to buy, you can always look at the unique items it has in the store. It's always going to be different from the merchandise available at your standard keeper shrines. So anyways, this boss is going to be an enhanced version of the Wandering Wight. And he does have some cronies with him, so there's going to be lots of like fodder enemies that will can bother you, but mostly if you stay away from them, you're going to be good. There'll be an opportunity or I guess an attack that he does when he's kind of in desperation mode, where he makes them all explosive. So you just need to remain in like a sprinting speed and just weave through them to cause them to explode to completely get them out of the equation. Aside from that, you do want to still continue staying aggressive and trigger, if you can, chain together maybe 2 to 3 light attack combos, including the finisher, so he can get knocked down. He does also have I guess an ability he can do, a desperation, where he can bring in these same enemies I was referring to, and if they get in close proximity, they will get on their knees, sacrifice themselves to him, and his health will regenerate. But at the same time, if we attack the enemies while he's doing that move, we get health back, so we can use it to our benefit. Anyways, let's see if we can knock this guy out first try. This is the Elder Jinchi, incredibly important to the story and the history of the Guan Yin Temple.
Oh, thank Mitraba. Oh, finally then, the 3 bells sang. Disciples come, I hear travelers approaching my temple carrying new treasures. I cannot see you, but I recognize your odor. It cannot be you. You are back? Must be you who took that Kasaya. Now give it back!
Alright, so we're going to stay aggressive here. We're going to go ahead and start with the immobilization, which unfortunately we did improper timing, so no worries there. Remember, this guy has the same exact combos as his little crony. Do some massive damage there to knock him down, and then we can start chaining our combos together. There's 1. There's 2. And we need to heal, or else we're gonna die. There you go, big damage there. So now they're gonna start trying to explode, so we're gonna sprint. Keep sprinting. Remember, we have the increased sprint speed, so never a bad thing. Trigger them if you can, and then go away. We'll go ahead and utilize our ability for now. Transform. Deal as much damage as we can here. big attack for us. So this is going to be a the attack that I was referring to earlier, where he brings in the people. We've killed most of them though, but this attack lasts for maybe a good 30 seconds. So kill them and you can actually regenerate health for yourself. They should be dying all within at least 1 to 2 hits. So with our sprint, with our pilgrim set bonus, our sprinting attack, and our upgraded staff, we should be okay. You want to make sure you don't get anybody too close, or don't allow anybody to get too close, or he'll get the health benefit. So anybody that's creeping in too close, make sure to clear them out. The attack lasts forever. These guys are kind of close. We want to knock them out before they start kneeling. I'm telling you, this has gone on for at least 30 seconds, so no good. Back away. This is a huge attack here. We're going to go ahead and heal. He's going to rip out his hand. That's going to be another explosion. We're going to do a jumping attack here. Immobilize, and then do our light attack combo. We don't have any stamina, so we're going to do our heavy attack combo here. They're explosive again, so we're going to run around. Manage our stamina, make sure that... oh, he used them to blow up. That's no fun. Not cool, bro. He can sneak that in on you. Just be careful. He's kind of a jerk, as you can tell. This guy. We're gonna go ahead and heal, sprint away. Big stun there, and then hopefully we can finish him off with our light attack combo, and that's first try Elder Jinchi. Look at us go. Now, I can assure you right now that I'm certainly not going to first try every single boss, but I'll make sure that I give you the strategies that I'm using along the way.
70 years spent. Cassius collected by the hundreds. Still one short without his. No, stop. Go back. Leave it. Just leave it. Stop the fire.
So you'll learn his story a bit later. He was essentially consumed by greed. His obsession happened to be with things, material things, and the Kasaya is actually like a traditional robe. It was a golden Kasaya, so you'll see that later in the end of each chapter. You're treated to a nice cutscene that's usually animated in different styles, and this one tells the story of Elder Jinchi before his fall into that greedy golden-headed Yaogwai he would eventually become. So we've completed the secret area, but guess what? We can also set this person free too. So what we're going to do is examine this body. It'll now be set free, and we get a very, very important item, one of the most important items in the game, the Fireproof Mantle.
The Fireproof Mantle. The great sage borrowed it from Virapaxa. How did it end up here? You must have freed that miserable soul. Oh, such is his end. A tragedy prologued by a sick thought. It's getting late. Let's hurry up the mountain.
So the Fireproof Mantle is already equipped, and in order to use it, all you have to do is press R2 and then the left analog stick in. And when you do that, it'll activate a certain effect. Now these are called vessels. There's mantles, there's like charms and different things, but they're all vessels nonetheless. These are legendary items you can typically get from the secret areas inside each of the chapters. So when your chi is full for this particular item, if you press R2 and the left stick in, you can use it. Some hidden vessels left by predecessors can be discovered in the journey, each with unique power. Using them costs chi, which can be recovered from hitting the enemies. So just by hitting enemies, you can build up chi, right? Anyway, so the demo is this. You can just wrap yourself around, and what happens is you pretty much have burn immunity. You will not get burnt at all. It also increases your focus. So your focus bar is automatically going to be building up. This is incredibly effective against any enemy that uses fire or heat, And also, just by having it equipped, you are immune to scorch damage from any kind of terrain that may be burning, like lava or fire, anything like that. So it is insanely good. Something that you'll certainly be using in later chapters. If not, if you didn't have it or couldn't use it, you would be in dire straits. So anyways, we'll be using that before long. And also, since we're already here and we have 3 more points, we can go into some staff stances, and we're going to start beefing up our smash stance here. So the most important move in the entire game is probably the resolute strike, or the ability to see through. This technically just means by doing a light attack and interrupting it with a heavy attack when you have a focus point available, you'll be able to use a resolute strike. And if you do it at the right time while an enemy is striking you, you can actually gain invincibility frames. So it's really awesome. So we're going to do that. That's huge. You certainly want that. And if you look to the far left, you can see here it says 1 of 3. So just by having a handful more, or 2 more in particular, things unlocked, we'll be able to have 2 focus points, and then 3, and then 4. So you can see how that kind of builds up there. But anyways, you can sprint while charging. That's not a bad thing to have. This, let's see, slightly increase the health recovery point upon consuming a focus point. So when you use a heavy strike or a focus point, you actually gain some health back. So it's not a bad thing to have. I say we actually open up some of our other stances too. For now, we could do the this right here, and then the pillar stance wouldn't be a terrible thing to have. I mean, I typically don't use it much at all. We won't be needing it for this next fight, so instead, how about we actually build up this right here? That's going to open up this whole next layer for us anyways. So now we can have up to 2 focus points. These are going to be pretty good, like reducing the stamina for charged heavy attacks, increasing the damage dealt by varied combos. Varied combo just means by at some point in the combo you're pressing triangle to use a focus point instead of just doing a full light attack combo. So lots of good stuff around here we can definitely use. So anyways, we are certainly going to be I'd say dedicating a lot of points to the smash stance and the thrust stance in particular, but we can't even get to this stance unless you have 20 points invested into your staff stances in general. So not something we need to rush for. And honestly, thrust stance really synergizes best with a spear, which is a weapon that we won't really be getting until the end of chapter 3, or I'd say midway through chapter 3. So don't worry too much about that. Anyway, so let's just be careful here. There's going to be will we can absorb, but then a new enemy type just up ahead. We're nearing the end of the chapter, so this will be a little bit of a longer episode, but I don't mind because I want to make sure I don't just have end off the episode with abruptly with just a boss fight and that's it. So that just wouldn't make much sense at all to me. This is a new enemy type. We can trivialize him by doing this. When he's stunned, just continue piling on the damage. Remember, every time they get staggered like that and you have a focus point, follow up with a jumping triangle, a jumping heavy attack. That's going to always continue that stun lock. And then you can go ahead and return to your light attack combo. So it's just a matter of managing stamina at that point. But anyway, so here we can get the purple Lingxi again. We'll start using these before long, and then we can open up this chest here. And then we can take a nice long break to enjoy the vista while we meditate. So this is going to increase our maximum mana. Different pills increase different things. So 1 increases health, 1 increases mana, and 1 increases stamina. So we'll have many to choose from. And here, just by meditating, we're going to get another spark. So let's just enjoy this for now. But yeah, so far, I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is a great point to remind you guys, if you found any value, if this guide has helped you, please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. This is something that I do full-time now, and I'm just hoping to maintain that dream. And with your guys' support, I can definitely make that dream a reality. So thank you all so much. But anyways, we're going to be heading there, actually, where you saw that shrine. And we'll be facing off with the first version, I should say, of the Black Wind King. So, in my opinion, he's actually pretty tough, just because he is one of the more humanoid enemies you can be facing off with, and he uses a spear. He also has a lot of abilities that rely on, that make him immune to a damage, and only you can be hurt. So he can actually transform into like a gust of wind, and that wind can harm you if it hits you, and he loves to hit you. So he does it all the time, trust me. So just so you know, now we can build up our our focus points. This guy's hopping around like crazy. These are wolf assassins. These guys are nuts. You should have practiced. No, you were doing great. If you would have practiced anymore, I would have died. I would have not been happy. But anyway, so the Black Wind King does have a few phases where he, or moves in particular, where he can deal damage to you, but you can't deal damage to him. And he does like his fire as well, so definitely make sure you have your mantle equipped. This is going to take us to the shrine. But first we have these fools to deal with, so feel free to use all your stuff. I thought there was an archer as well. You know what, let's just do this. I'm going to finish these guys off quickly. Because of the shrine 2 feet in front of us, you can feel free to go crazy with it. Anybody guarding a shrine deserves to get melted like that anyway, so. And de-transform, that way we can harvest this really quickly. Remember, Jade Lotus is going to be useful for Chapter 2. We're going to go ahead and rest at this shrine here. Remember, actually make sure you rest, because if you just activate the shrine, that's not sufficient. You have to rest. Now we can look at our crafting menu and look, do we have more armor to craft? Yes, we do. We have the Bronze Monkey Mask. This is going to increase our burn resistance, which isn't a bad set to have. It also enhances your immobilization spell, which I think is really nice. So just by wearing 2 pieces, you can deal additional damage. When you crash the immobilization, which means you hear that breaking and that shattering sound, that means you did a heavy attack, finisher, or something on that while they're in the immobilization state. But anyways, really cool set. I used this for a period of time, and it looks fantastic. So look at the arm guards, for example. Those look so good. It's a really nice looking set, and it has great bonuses. And it does, of course, increase your damage resistance pretty significantly. So not a bad set to have. Unfortunately, we're going with what we have for now because, as I'm telling you, before long, you're going to see just how beneficial it is to have this set, okay? So if for whatever reason you are struggling and the health benefits that we've invested in aren't sufficient, feel free to craft these armors, because by the end of the stream, or the end of the series, you should definitely have the ability to craft nearly all the armors, almost every single armor in the game. You'll have all the blueprints for them at the very least. So just make sure that if you're having trouble, feel free to use these, okay? Because this is going to be a little bit more strong than what we currently have. We have 8 right now, right? And that's 16, so it's double. So in the event that we need to change, we certainly will. But I'm not going to invest in a new set just yet. But please feel free to do so if you are struggling and if the health boons that we've invested in aren't sufficient, okay? Don't feel stuck to my precise guide, but just know that I am giving you the options and the ability to craft these if you need to. So by getting everything in the game, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to craft whatever you want. This is the Black Wind King, kind of a jerkwad. I don't like this guy.
All those monks consumed by the fire turn to wandering ghosts roaming in Black Wind Mountain.
He looks massive, by the way. Like, aren't you supposed to be praying all day? When do you find time to do, steroids?
I have even restored the charred scriptures piece by piece. But oh yes, I always knew. One day you shall return.
Alright, so he's got, again, a pretty annoying moveset. Remember not to use your mobilization spell unless you know he's kind of in a non-attacking position. Otherwise, it can be a problem. So this would be a good opportunity right here. For example, big attacks there. Oh, I did not mean to transform. That was actually a mistake. But here's the move that I told you about. When you hear a pop, make sure you dodge to the side. Here he's going to be in the center, and then we're going to rush right here. Okay. We got to take advantage of our transformation here, otherwise, no good at all. I didn't mean to transform so early. That was actually a mistake, so my apologies. But don't ever panic and untransform. Just stick with it. All right. I'm gonna heal here because it's kind of annoying. One of my favorite techniques to block. Love that. Fire. Love that too. Remember that if you get inflicted with fire, if you dodge 3 times, you'll actually remove the fire affliction from yourself. So we're gonna heal right here. I'm gonna actually use the mantle. Why not? We'll get some increased focus in the meantime. He's using Cloud Step right here, which is an ugly, ugly ability. We're gonna go ahead and use this opportunity here, do some damage, and jump and do another attack here. Just keep him stunned if we can. But again, he's a jerk, so don't worry about it. We're just gonna get some perfect dodges in, because why not? What I always say. And we went ahead and defeated the first version of the Black Wind King. He can be quite a jerk. If you have trouble with him, just make sure to utilize your spirit attacks and your transformations. Don't use immobilization when he's in the middle of his attacks or his combos, because he can completely nullify it. And if he's in the Black Wind form you just saw there, he'll nullify it there as well. So we're going to get a new ability though, which is super exciting. This is one of my favorite abilities aside from immobilization.
But Black Bear's expertise is lacking. Serving Guan Yin didn't help him much. But what he left here could surely help us. Consider today your lucky day.
So now we have Cloud Step, and like I said before, that Keeper is certainly one of the best. The Keeper's quality certainly gets worse and worse with each chapter. Like, some of them just suck. But Cloud Step allows you to disperse into mist, so you can actually be undetectable by enemies and then sneak up behind them and deal massive damage. So definitely something that has saved my life in multiple instances. Now, you're not invincible, but you are able to get through some attacks, surprisingly. But more important than anything, the detection is the biggest thing, or I should say the lack of detection. You can be stealthy now. Alright, goodbye, Mr. Keeper Man.
Focus and disperse, illusions traversed. You still have a lot to learn, but give yourself the time you need.
So just so you know, we came from here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to circle around. This is the area where he was kind of guarding. We're going to go this way first, because if you come this way and you break this urn right here, this jar, you're going to get an awakened wine worm. And remember, that's how you enhance your drink. So if I wanted my drink to deal or to be more potent, and it's only, healing 33%, well, maybe if I use a wine worm, it'll increase its efficiency and maybe heal up to 40% or even greater. So the more wine worms you invest in it, the more potent the drink's going to be and the more healing you're going to get per usage. So anyway, so now what we want to do is jump over here, and you can open up this chest as well, get some more goodies. So we got the wine worm, we got a gate jar. Now this is not a bad curio to have early on. It does increase your defense moderately. So if you look and see, like, what does moderately mean? So if you look here, it actually increases it from 60 to 74, so plus 14 points. Not bad early on, especially whenever the armors that you have available may not offer the most defense. Anyways, from here, the only other thing you can get, there's usually some plants in here you can harvest if I haven't already harvested them, and then off to the side. Remember, every time you grab a plant or harvest a plant or an ingredient, you have a chance of getting the seeds, which is going to be needed if you want the platinum for sure, but certainly if you just want to be able to have all the harvestable ingredients without having to pick them yourself every single time they're available. So we're going to rush through here, and then we're going to reach the final area. We're heading towards Bodhi Peak. Bodhi Peak is where the actual chapter boss, or the end, I guess the epic boss fight is going to take place. So what we're going to do is we're going to work our way towards the Bodhi Peak and hopefully defeat the chapter boss and showcase that little cutscene, the animated cutscene I've been wanting to show you guys. And then before the cutscenes, you typically get a really cool look at a tapestry that kind of documents like a painting of the events that occurred in the chapter, and that is going to be important for a secret in chapter 3. But I'm going to skip past those so that you can examine them for yourselves, because I just want to make sure the guides are focused primarily on the game mechanics and things of that nature. But anyway, so we're in good shape. Remember, we do have the Cloud Step equipped. By pressing R2 and triangle, we can then activate Cloud Step. It does have its own cooldown, of course, so be careful with it. Make sure you don't just spam it. So we're going to duck behind this corner here. Take this guy out. Usually it's he's like a 5-hit combo. Make sure you just get those out. get these guys knocked out. Now we can absorb this will right over here. 3 sprites, so it's not bad. It's going to give us lots of will. And this is a fun way to use it. So just so you guys know, you can do this and then say, oh my gosh, they can't see you. You hit them and it's incredible damage. But if you're dumb like me and you just want to run into the arrows, you can certainly do that as well. Anyways, there's going to be archers everywhere, but let's make sure we take out all the melee guys. Normally I'd go for the ranged enemies, but they're certainly baiting you, so what we want to do is take out these guys first. 3, 4, and 5, so then we get behind them. So it's either 3 hit combos or 5 hit combos, just so that you know. They're going to alternate between those. That's most enemies, just FYI.
Ahead is a treacherous path.
I'm going to scoot up so I can take this guy out really quickly. And then I'm going to take this guy out. There's an archer behind me, so just make sure you dodge every once in a while. Alright, lovely. I love that. So now we can come over here. Whenever you do the cloud step, there's a decoy left behind, so they're going to be aiming towards that, which is my favorite part, actually. What we're going to do is we're just continue around this way. We're going to clear out the archers first, okay? So, I bet I messed that up right there. Oh my gosh. So we're going to go here, and then press triangle. Now I'm locked onto him for some reason, which is great. I absolutely love that. What I'm trying to do is get away from these fools. We'll take out this archer, because he's actually causing a bit of an issue here. We're going to go this way. Now if I could jump on this rock. There it is. That's what we've been trying to do. And we've got 1 left right over there, and then there's 1 up there is 2, so well, technically 2 left, I guess. But if he can come over here, we'll be in good shape. If you want to transform and take him, you can certainly do that too. It's a stronger enemy for sure. We've fought these bull guards before though, so we've dealt with their bull stuff before. Let's kill these guys. Remember, you don't really have a fear of falling. You're gonna be fine. So before we do anything else, we're actually going to drop back down. So we're going to go this pathway. And I'm too tall for that's great. So we're going to drop down here instead. Drop down and look behind. A little enemy here. This is a special enemy though. Enemies that have like a blue aura around them, they can actually be absorbed and they're spirit enemies. So what we're going to do is see if we can get them over here. Okay, that's fine. You want to fight over there? That's fine. Blood of the Iron Bull, and then of course we can always top off. That's exactly what we're going to do. And that way we can replenish our gourd. So we have yet another spirit that we've absorbed. And so now we can actually become that dude too. So the enemy that we kind of dealt with, the Wolf Assassin, is now in our arsenal. So now if you go to your equipment, and you go to your spirit skills, you can have him as well. So this one slightly increases your critical hit chance. So that's kind of what, if you look at the demo there, you can see what he would do. Throws that little, I don't know what it is. It's like a giant shuriken thing, kind of cool. Anyways, we can open up this chest, get some goodies. It's really easy to miss this. That's why I wanted to make sure I taught you guys, or showed you guys. And then we can pick up the aged ginseng. Remember, aged ginseng and licorice are 2 ingredients that you definitely want to harvest every chance you get, because you can get unique soaks. As of yet, we haven't got either of them, but we're hopeful. Alright, so we're going to keep this way. There's nothing around here. You can't drop off or do anything like that. You can't even explore that lower level, so don't worry about it. Instead, we're just going to go this path and not get shot. Not get shot. Not get shot. There you go. And then now we can go ahead and grab this. We've got enemies coming, but you get iframes when you're opening stuff anyway, so we're good. We've got a nonary pill. This is going to increase max stamina, so now we got 1 of each. And just so that you know, it's always going to look ugly. Like, you're never going to have like a beautifully, like, perfectly even health bar, stamina bar, mana bar. No. It just doesn't happen, okay? Even if you get everything, it just doesn't ever look beautiful like that, so don't worry. Come up here so you can grab the aged ginseng again. Again, we're hoping for one of the unique drops every time we pick it up, one of the unique soaks in particular. And we're going to reach Bodhi Peak. Bodhi Peak is the shrine right before the boss fight, so we are well on our way. Do our little jumping attack here. That's kind of overkill, but I love that. There's nothing in here, just so you know. I just want to show you guys, like, there's certain areas you can duck into that really don't lead to anything. Now, and then there's more areas that you think, oh, it's going to not lead to anything at all, but then it continues on and on and on. So you can never get be too prepared, I suppose. And that's why I'm here. So we're at Bodhi Peak. This is the shrine right before the boss fight. Remember, this is going to be a tough fight, so you must make sure that you have the fire mantle equipped, and then it's not bad to have this jar that we just got to increase our defense, and this for some crit chance. This is an excellent spirit to have equipped for now because of this, the sheer damage that it deals. In the event that you're struggling with, maybe taking too much damage and your survivability, even though we've already, I'd say invested quite a bit into the survivability, you could always look at possibly reducing the 4 banes, which would be fire, would be one of them, and it goes further and further on. So definitely something that you can we could consider, but not something that I would actually spend too much time worrying about at this point. In the event you are having trouble, then focus more so on crafting better armor that would be more suitable for you. For example, I mean, in my opinion, Pilgrim set is the best set, but you won't be able to upgrade it until later. So there's a secret method for you to upgrade your armors, which is something that is unknown until much later in the game. So you can completely miss it and never have the opportunity to upgrade your armor. But I'm going to show you guys how to do it, okay? Anyway, so yeah, just in the event that you need to, you feel like you're a little too weak, just craft better armor. Right now I'm looking to see what more I could invest into for now. I wouldn't mind, dealing some more damage here, but also at the same point, damage reduction is not something I really look forward to. I always look for offense, so yeah, I think we're okay for now. That's not a bad thing. And this is probably one of my favorites, so we're going to do this for now. So the reason why I went with this is because whenever you see through an enemy, you can then continue your combo and just deal more and more damage. This right here, if you have more than one focus point, you can actually chain your focus points into a combo that deals massive damage. So the demo on the right is showing you exactly what it does. One of my favorite moves in the game, one that I rely on pretty heavily as well. So let's go up here and defeat the Blackwind Bear. Let's see why we call him that, by the way. There's a reason for that name.
Told me, out of sight, out of mind is a fool's task. Seeing but seeing through is what wise men do.
What wise men do. I love how it still rhymes. I like how they translate it to still rhymes, and that's just crazy. Really good attention to detail here. This game is phenomenal. So many different levels. This is why they call him the Blackwind Bear. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is stay on the offensive, stay close, make sure we can utilize our spells at the right time. So if he does things like that, you gotta try and dodge at the right time to avoid those massive damage dealing strikes he has. But you can always use your mobilization as long as he's not attacking to deal some crazy damage. So you want to just chain light combos as much as you can. In the event that he gets a little crazy with you like that, you can just do a chain together your focus attack combo, which I'll show you guys in just a moment. There you go. Big telegraphed attack, so nothing too crazy. See if we can knock him down for a second. Calm down, big boy. When he gets to half health, he's going to change to phase 2. Phase 2 has lots of fire, and that's when you're going to want to activate the mantle, okay? We're going to go ahead and heal once. Get behind him, and then we're going to heal. That's perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and do our focus combo. We missed it, so no worries. We use our immobilization. I'm going to try our best not to whiff any of these things. There's the combo we want. That's what we're looking for right there. Then we can transform. Remember, after we transform, he's probably going to go into Kaioken mode and use primarily his fire-based attacks. So we are going to want to do our damage-dealing attacks here as much as possible anyways. So now we want to go ahead and use our mantle. So you can get pretty cheap with that attack, just so you know. Every time you hear the pop, just get ready to teleport to the side, or dodge to the side, sorry. He will do it quite a bit though. And it deals tons of damage. So he got distracted there by our decoy, which is awesome. Worked as planned. Big attack here. That should knock him down. Very nice. We're going to heal on the way there. Do a light attack combos. Dodge to the side if we can. Dodge again. And he's going to teleport. This is probably the worst attack. Yeah, he does some weird stuff there. Hard to get through sometimes. Light attack combo if we can. There you go, nice finisher. And we can do our focus point combo by pressing triangle multiple times. He's stunned again, and we can run in with a light attack combo, and he's finished. And that's the end of Chapter 1. We're going to be getting our first relic, and also be treated to our first animated cutscene.
Cunning wretch! Well, spare your sorry life for today! Fortune is no longer on your side! No one will come to your aid. All I need is to take it elsewhere and rebuild everything anew! Great sage! Oh, pardon me, young sage. Mercy, young sage, have mercy. I was just a pawn of the Celestial Court. If given a choice, who dared to challenge the mighty wrecker of the Celestial Palace?
His words ring true. No matter how daring he was, he had not the nerve to harm the great sage. There must be someone else pulling all the strings.
Exactly, and this thing is eerie. I had no idea how to make use of its power. Except to enshrine it up there, tricking lesser Yaoguais into offerings. If you pardon me, I'll go back to Guanyin to atone for my actions and be put back on the encaging band. You will never see me out there anymore.
Oh, ignore his nonsense. Go now, little monkey. Go and retrieve the great sage's relic.
The relics are the story-based items that actually give you passive effects as well, so there's 6 in total. The standard ending of the game will grant you 5, but there's a secret 6th that you can get. 1 in each chapter. And as I said before, these relics are actually part of the Great Sage, which the Great Sage, of course, is the Great Stone Monkey, Sun Wukong. But let's watch this incredible scene. Oh, you know what? I actually might need to skip this. So I'm going to skip the animated scenes. These are scenes that you can then watch on your own. I apologize for that. That's because it's going to hit me with copyright, so I definitely don't want to do that. You will be treated to the scene, and then you can catch back up with me here, and we can meet back up and continue our journey.
Crash before their betters. Shame.
This is the tapestry that I was referring to.
What destiny do you claim? As the small fish catches its prey, the bigger lurks behind. Who is the bigger fish? I can't see it. As for the prey and the small fish, they are swimming everywhere.
So on these tapestries, just to give you guys a really quick, kind of tutorial, I'll show you how to use them. But we have one relic. There's, as you see, 5 slots, but there's one in the middle, which is the 6th hidden relic. So we got the first relic. We're going to be activating it here later in chapter 2 actually. And this shows you the level, any sparks you may have gotten, and will you obtained in that last boss fight. And then of course you have a series of goodies. Initially I thought you had to pick one of these. These are actually all of the things that you were granted and awarded. So we get the Flame Ebon Gold, which is going to be utilized for not only a very special weapon, but one that actually synergizes with the Cloud Step very well. And then another really notable item here is the Mind Core, which can be used to craft celestial medicines. Celestial medicines can be crafted and utilized to increase or give you permanent benefits and increases to health, mana, stamina, and everything else you can think of. Resistances to afflictions and all that. So you can craft these medicines yourself and you get permanent effects. But anyways, just so you know how to use it, you can use these shoulder buttons to zoom in, and then once you zoom in, if you see a point, you can examine it. And then you just can keep scrolling through and looking for other points you can examine, and each time the narrator will give you more, more insight and lore into each of these events that happen throughout the chapter, and whenever soon Wukong himself had to deal with it. So really, really interesting. And again, sorry for having to skip the scene, but I just realized that the song itself is very likely going to be one that's copyrighted, so I definitely don't want that to impact the video. So anyways, we can skip to the next chapter. We're going to begin the intro for chapter 2, get a good, like a good stopping point, and then move on. Chapter 2 is pretty intense though, and the song is pretty amazing, so even if this one does get demonetized, it's fine. The song is good enough. It starts off very odd though, and you're going to see why I say that. Yeah. Headless guy singing. So we're just a pincushion right now, inexplicably.
I reckon I got an idea why you've come here, my friend. Haste makes waste. I'll lend you a hand.
Why, thank you. That's much better.
Watch your step, eh? Get more shots and you'll be high and dry.
So all throughout, his songs actually narrate what happened and give you backstory, and they also give you hints to secrets within this level. So anyways, really, really cool so far. This is chapter 2, possibly my favorite chapter in the game. But what I do want to do is end it here, and I want to tell you guys thank you so much for joining me on this. If you guys enjoyed the guide so far, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Lets me know you want more content just like this, and I hope to see you in chapter 2, part 1. That will be a guide where we talk about and explore this entire area, find all the secrets, of course, all the collectibles, many, many different variations to very specific boss fights, very special encounters that you just can't get unless you follow this guide here. So be sure to stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, it's the Inhuman One signing out.